Braden, let's move it now. We have New England is minus 7.5 visiting division foe Buffalo.
Ooh, this
Yeah,
is interesting.
very interesting. Two 3-0 teams. Two 3-0
Yeah,
teams. I do
yeah,
like
this
Buffalo.
is uh-huh.
They've cracked my top 10, my power rankings this week. Check that out on Underdog TV on YouTube. What do you think, man? 7.5.
Well, all right. So from a betting standpoint, that half point is going to make me choose Buffalo.
Oh,
You know,
Buffalo.
you know,
Yeah.
and that's silly. It's so silly to
No,
do
you're
it.
right. You're right. If you look at the analytics, you're absolutely right. That 3 to 3.5, that 7 to 7.5 makes a big difference.
It does, and that's the way I'm going to lean. Buffalo's at home, and home team underdog division play is a very successful bet.
Mm-hmm.
Is my nose growing as I say it? Like
Hey, man,
so
you took the
silly.
points with New England, Miami. But then we both bet New England, and we laid the points with against the Jets last week. Although that was the right bet. You know, it was the right
I
bet.
do. All right, but here's the thing about New England is they could control the entire game
Hmm.
and still win by 7.
Yeah, you're
You know
right.
what I mean? It's like a different. They could be up 7 and Buffalo not even really be close to them, if that makes any sense at all.
It was kind of. I don't want to say it was that extreme, but I felt that way about that Baltimore Kansas City game. Like Kansas City was
Uh-huh.
in control of that game. About the second to third quarter, and then Baltimore came in and got that cover. It's that same thing, man.
Like
Because
right. New England could be up 13 and Buffalo could have the ball with 6 minutes left and driving, but even still, it doesn't even really matter if they score late because New England's got it and you just know they got it,
yeah,
right?
right.
It's a different feel to it. So from that standpoint, I will take Buffalo based on that little derivative.
Yeah, Buffalo's defense, you can't overlook them, man. They're really good. McDermott's been in this division long enough. He knows the score in New England. I'm gonna take New England. I wrote down 27-13 as my score here. I just think it's going to be tough. I think that Josh Allen is going to turn the ball over against New England.
Well, yes, I would have to say he will do that. I
Yeah,
agree with that. And
you're right. That half point,
boy,
man. I don't know that I would put this in like my favorite bets of the week.
now if it's 6.5 New England, I'm taking New England all day,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So that's basically where I'm coming from.
So I think by the time we do our pick six show, what ends up happening is like the sharp people come in and put their money on, and they've loved Buffalo all season. I bet you that this line moves to 6.5, and if it moves to 6.5, I'm with you.
I bet it does move that way.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I would say you're right on that.
yeah. That 7.5 to me is like stay off the action there, but when it moves to even 7, I start thinking about it because I don't mind a push. 6.5, I like it a little bit more. So, if you're one of the gamblers that likes to bet both sides, I'd say put your money on New England early because I think the line is more likely to move towards Buffalo.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll have to keep track of what Bovada does later in that. But, let me get to the fantasy analytics here. Brady, I think this is actually going to be a tougher game for New England. I don't think they're going to put up 30 points like I mentioned before. The one guy I like is Philip Dorsett. He seems an under-the-radar guy. I like him more as a daily fantasy play. When Antonio Brown, that Week 1 game against Pittsburgh, he found the end zone. Antonio Brown came back in the second week. Philip Dorsett was kind of, I think, the odd man out there. Now Brown's gone, and he got in the end zone again this last week. I like him in this offense. He's doing pretty well. On the Buffalo side, New England's defense is just so good. I'm looking things over right now. The only guy I think I would even think about playing is Frank Gore. I think they're going to be throttled defensively. I think that's why I think Buffalo gets 13 points. I like Buffalo, but like I said when we were talking Kansas City and Baltimore, I just think New England and Kansas City at this point are a cut above the other guys. I like Buffalo. I think Buffalo has a great chance to make the playoffs this year, especially with this 3-0 start, and we'll see where it goes.